Starting in a wide leg position. On an inhale, stretch your arms up and overhead. And on an exhale, fold all the way down. If you're tight in your hamstrings or low back, feel free to bend your knees here. Let the head hang forward. And take a couple deep breaths. On your next breath, take a bend to your left knee and stretch out your right inner thigh. So keep that right leg straight and that right foot planted. And then on your next breath, straighten both legs, walk your hands back through center, and then bend into your right knee, stretching out that left inner thigh. And then walking your hands back to center. Take another moment in that wide-legged forward fold. And then on your next breath, turn your right toes to the side, walk your hands over to the right, and then sink your left foot back behind you, moving into a lunge. Now, whatever feels better, you can keep your back knee lifted or bring it down to the ground. Take a breath here. And then on your next breath, move your hips back, flex your front foot into runner's stretch. Keep your hips stacked on top of your knee and your toes pointing straight up to the ceiling. Take a breath here. From there, bend back into that front knee, tuck your back toes and lift that knee. Walk your hands back through center as you spin the feet to parallel. And then walk your hands over to the left, turning your left toes to the side and sinking into a lunge on your other leg. Again, back knee can be lifted or come down, whatever feels most comfortable. Make sure your knee is on top of your ankle here, so not pulling forward. And take a breath here. On your next breath, shift your hips back into runner's stretch, flexing your front toes. Again, keeping that foot flexed and your chest moving forward, so you have length in your spine here. And take a breath here. On your next breath, bend back into that knee, and then we're just going to sit down, bring the soles of the feet together for butterfly. Bring your hands to either your shins or your ankles, whichever one is accessible. Sit up nice and tall, take a breath in, lengthening the spine, and then on your exhale, fold forward over your legs. If your knees are coming up a lot higher than your hips, walk your feet a little farther away from you to create some more space, and then take a couple of breaths there. On your next breath, bring yourself back to sit. Close your legs and then roll down onto your back. Bring your right ankle just above your left knee. And then, if it's available, start to draw your left thigh towards your chest for a hip stretch. Keep your right foot flexed here. And take 2 breaths here. And on your next breath, bring your left foot back down to the mat, send your right heel up towards the ceiling, and interlace your hands around the back of your right thigh for a hamstring stretch. You can stay right here, or for a little more intensity, lengthen your left leg along the ground, keeping that left foot flexed as well. Taking a breath here. And from there, sending that right foot down to meet the left, bring the soles of the feet back down to your mat. Bring your left ankle to the top of your right thigh and flex that left foot. Again, moving into a hip stretch. If you already feel a stretch here, don't bring your thigh closer to your chest. Just do that if you want a little bit more intensity in the stretch. Whatever you're comfortable with. And take a breath here. Again, keeping that left foot flexed here so that you're protecting your knee as you stretch. And then on your next breath, send that left heel towards the ceiling. Ground that right foot. Interlace your hands around the back of your left thigh. And then again, if you want more intensity in this stretch, extend that right leg along the mat. And make sure your shoulders aren't rounding here, so you want to keep the chest nice and open. Taking one last breath here. And use that exhale to bring that left foot down to meet the right. So, make sure anytime you do these stretches, you are breathing deeply and fully. Make sure that you're really warm before you go into these stretches, and also just be sure that you are breathing comfortably in these stretches. So if you find your breath is constricted in any way or you're feeling a lot of pain, that's your body telling you to back off and do a little bit less intensity.